Hi!
Hey!
Today on What You Won't Learn in the United States American History is...
The Black Plague, or the Black Death, the Plague, bubonic plague, death.
basically. So, while they do talk about this subject in American schools, United States American schools, they don't actually really cover it that much. They're just like, it happened, it was horrible, that's it. So we're here to tell you more.
Give you all the lovely details.
So, Nicole, you want to start us off?
Sure. So, first of all, where did the Black Death even come from? Well, we think that it started in either East Africa or South Asia, because that's where all the trade was really going on. And so the first people who got it was in Constantinople in 552 CE. That's Common Era AD. So it actually hit a long time before it really got bad in Europe, and that's usually what you hear about in school.
Yep. Okay. So, while it affected a majority of Europe, I mean, like, wiped out whole towns off the map, no survivor kind of thing, it didn't actually pop up in places like Poland, Milan, Andorra, and other areas densely populated with Jews and Muslims, because they like to wash their hands and bathe and awesome stuff like that that people at that time didn't do because they thought it was crazy.
Also, like, especially in the Middle East, they were a lot more advanced. So they had sewage systems and other things that just generally keep the town clean. And a lot of Europe didn't have that. So that really helped the plague spread when everyone was sitting around in their filth.
I mean, they were just throwing their extremities out the window onto the street. I mean,
yeah, it was
pretty gross.
pretty gross.
So reasons why Milan was actually pretty clear of it is because if you got it, they burned down you, your whole family, your whole house.
Just gone. They don't want to deal with you. Just there's no hope left.
Out of sight, out of mind.
But Poland actually solved their problems without murdering people. Because when the rest of Europe was basically kicking out the Jewish people because, oh, they didn't get the plague, obviously it's their fault, Poland took them in. And so because of, like, the influx of the Jewish population, like the communities and things, Poland was actually safe from the plague because they were clean. And also, it's kind of a weird genetic thing here. There's a lot of people with an O-type blood in Poland, and a lot of studies show that the O-type blood made you more resistant to, like, getting the plague.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, the plague was spread mainly around originally the trade routes by the Mongols and by, like, rats on ships and fleas that were on the rats and that latched onto their traders. And then basically the Mongols, when they would lay siege to places, basically you get your dead infected bodies, put them on your catapult, you launch them over the walls. Hey, that big, walled in town, they're gonna be wiped out in a few weeks.
That's why when the Mongols come knocking on your door, you let them in and you treat them to a nice dinner.
You say, yes, I will pay you my tariffs and my trade.
Yeah, that's fine. Just please don't kill us.
Because otherwise, you're going to be living in a city of dead bodies. So, Nicole, what's some stupid things people did during the plague?
Well, so our dear friends the Scots, great people. Generally, in the past, they really hated England for plenty of reasons that hopefully we'll get into later on this channel. But in 1348, Scotland noticed, hey, a bunch of the English people had the plague and they're really weak, and this would be a great time to attack them. So they did. And then they all got the plague. And then what few of them were left, they ran back to Scotland, and everybody else got the plague.
So basically, if you decide to invade someone while they're weak because they're having a plague or a disease, don't do it. And if you do it anyways, don't let yourself go back home.
Mm-mm. Just stay there.
Yeah, basically.
Protect the homeland.
So, people did find ways to fight against the plague. Which
usually unsuccessful.
Very unsuccessful. People like masked doctors, the big beak
people,
and
really
basically
creepy.
they wore masks with a bunch of herbs, and because they thought that the disease was basically a big evil gas, and the herbs would protect them.
And the gas was called miasma, and that was the big thing back then, like evil magic gas that just spread nastiness and evil.
And it was mainly the men. They're not the smartest.
No.
So, quarantine.
A lot of people, finally figured out, hey, well, this is happening because of all the trade routes. Obviously, something's going wrong. So we're just gonna lock our doors and not let anyone come in. Except, generally, by the time they got this, they had already taken in stuff from the trade routes, which meant probably there was some fleas on that stuff or on the people, so they were already screwed by the time they, closed their gates. A very popular belief was that the plague was caused by God's wrath, that the people were just doing evil and this was God's way of punishing them. So our bright, happy friends decided they would punish themselves using flagellants. And that was whips of rope with nails on it, and they would beat each other to fix the problem.
Didn't really help.
No.
So, the plague had effects on people in population, obviously. Wiped out whole towns, but it also had social effects, like Jews were first forced to migrate again. They're always being forced to migrate because people either don't like them, and in this case, they believe they caused the plague because they weren't getting it, which is kind of stupid. So they went to Poland, the only place that was welcoming at the time, and then, of course, the decrease in the European population, and then several revolts, and in some cases, better conditions for some people and worse conditions for others.
So some of the economic effects, going hand in hand with those revolts, there was less workers around, so there was less crops in those years that the plague hit, and that didn't help anyone if they were hungry and also finding the disease. So a bunch of the serfs and the peasants decided to band together and revolt against the masters and the just the governments in general to demand better labor laws and higher wages.
Which actually worked pretty well, so if a plague hits, you know what to do.
Survivors, y'all are gonna get some muns.
Ask for better pay. And the taxes increase because there's less people to pay them.
Especially in England, who at the time was still trying to fight the 100 Years' War, even while everyone in England and France was dropping dead because of the plague.
Yep. And this is information about the Black Death and / the plague.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll see you guys next Saturday.
See you.